And thank you for everybody for listening in. 25 minutes now before 11 o'clock. Check the time here. Where are you? Years ago, when the computers started coming into the offices that we work in, how come I don't hear myself? Is there something wrong here?
I don't know. I can hear me. I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can.
That's something's not working in my headset.
Headphones.
But anyway, when computers started coming into the office space, I remember I was, the older guy. Imagine now. Now I'm even really older. Okay. Well, anyway, I remember I had there was a guy who worked with us, and he was really good with the computers. He was a younger guy, and so he asked me one day because I knew how to play guitar. So he asked me if I would teach him how to play guitar, and I said, "I'll tell you what. I'll teach you how to play guitar if you show me how to use that computer." Right? Because up at that time, we really weren't using it for much. And so I learned this whole thing about the C:// all these things you had to do, right?
Right.
And I remember you had to learn all these things, right? And I got pretty good at it. I got, I guess I got good enough to be able to use it, right? I don't think he ever learned guitar, by the way.
I don't think so.
Where are you? And anyway, so now, things are so different. I remember when I was teaching my mom how to use computer way after, like, AOL had already been around for a while. And I guess AOL kind of revolutionized the internet a little bit, and made it a little bit user-friendly. So I used to take my mom to the library and teach her this, that, and the other. And anyway, long story short, she was pretty good at email and Facebook and things like that. This is the time of year when you start looking for gifts, right? And I can't even tell you that even after using computer for so many years now that I know anything at all about them. Not really. So when you go and you're looking at the specs of a computer, and it tells you how many gigabytes, right? And if it's RAM drive and all the other things, I'm just like, it's still over my head. I still don't know all that stuff. Now I've gotten to the point where I want to turn it on, go to the things I like to use, whether it's an app or something on the internet, and then it's there, kind of like TV used to be. You just turn it on, it's there.
Right, exactly.
Like TV still is, I guess.
Yeah. It's modified.
So Sarah Evans is on the phone. Now, Sarah is a consumer social media and tech expert, and my goodness, look at these credentials. She was named one of Vanity Fair's America's Tweet Hearts, and Twitter in the news this morning because it went public, right?
Yes.
She was named as one of Forbes magazine's 14 power women to follow on Twitter.
That's awesome.
I have a lot of power women I follow on Twitter for different reasons. She was named as Entrepreneur's top 10 hot startups and a team member of the Guinness Book World Record holding Beat Cancer. Wow. Or hashtag.
Yes.
Say hashtag Beat Cancer.
Yeah.
Her book is called Reframe: Little Inspirations for a Larger Purpose. She's going to talk about internet data usage, what megabytes and gigabytes really mean, and how that is important to us, and why it's important to us. It's a long introduction, I know, but I'm sorry, but I make a connection here between what she's going to talk about and what kind of we've gone through, all of us collectively. Sarah Evans. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me and for that wonderful introduction.
And where are you? Where are you calling from?
I am calling in from Atlanta, Georgia today, but I live in beautiful Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. All right. Where everything stays, they say.
That's right.
Well, what that means. Everything stays.
The secrets never leave.
Except that you can go there on the internet.
That's right.
So tell me what the book is for. Who's the book for?
So the book I wrote really for young professionals, people transitioning from college to the professional world. And it was compiled of notes over my first 10 years in the industry, things that I found that I learned either from mistakes or the hard way that I wish someone could have told me that I could have previously. But it also deals with insecurities, a lot of professional insecurities, and a lot of reframing.
Okay. You're breaking up a little bit. You know why? Because this is an internet phone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we need more gigabytes or something. So would I grasp it? I hope I've made it clear that I'm still a novice, even though I use a computer every day.
Well, yeah, there isn't a whole lot of tech in the book, but it really, if you're looking, let's say you wanted to make a transition to a career in tech, it's something that could help you along to take a risk and do something that is you.
Okay. So do I use the information? Like, can I use the information to make a purchasing decision?
From the book, sure. I mean, but what I have found, one of the best ways and the most popular ways people make big purchasing decisions nowadays, especially for tech-related devices, is through word of mouth on social media. In fact, it's the number one referral factor for people making a large purchase.
Okay, all right. When we talk about data usage, are we talking about how much time we're online, or would one computer use the same amount of data if I was on for a half hour as another one at a half hour?
That is a great question, and also a very common misunderstanding. So data use, especially for your for any Wi-Fi, but for your home Wi-Fi, isn't about the amount of time you spend on, but what you're actually doing online. The uploading, downloading, sending, surfing the internet, watching movies, that sort of thing.
Okay, and are the plans that we buy for our phones and anything? I mean, the internet is now part of everything, right? You can go online with your phone, with your computer, right? With your Kindle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're using more internet, more data than ever. Internet usage is doubling every 2 years. And the average household in America has more than 6 devices connected to the internet. That's amazing.
You know what's amazing to me? I have a Kindle. And it's amazing to me that little thing can hold like the memory of, I don't know how many books, how many movies. It's just amazing. It's all in that little thing.
Mm-hmm. You're holding a library in your hand.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How are you personally able to use social media as a fundraiser? Because there's so many, There are so many things out there on social media, all different tweets, different posts, and everything. We were told that you worked with a local crisis center, and you raised more than $161,000 in 3 weeks just by social media. How did you get people to pay attention to you?
So that story is one that's very near and dear to my heart, and I've analyzed that one ad nauseum because so many people wanted to know how it happened.
Yeah, well, there's dollars like that, right?
Was, number one, I had never made an ask to people in my network prior to that. I think there's some statistic that says don't make more than 5 asks per year of people in your network. And that doesn't just social, that means first, because you'll get asked burnout. People keep being hit up for. So it was the first time I had done that. I'm very much a giver, so donating to other people's charities went first for myself. And then utilizing social media to take what was a very local issue and bring it to national standing. So not just talking about the local area, but communicating it in a way that anyone could understand, talking about homelessness or physical abuse, things that many of us unfortunately had a tie to or have a place in our heart for that type of story. At the time that event took place, social media wasn't making sense. So people thought it was unique and different. And some people weren't even interested in the cause, although it was very compelling, but they were interested in the technology fundraise and were donating just because they came across it and thought it was interesting. We also had a lot of local experts come together to create all the tools necessary for that, including a website that recognized donors that was still new at the time, where you could plug in people's Facebook fields after they made a donation and showcase their site field.
Could
we use like hashtags and at least 6 different social outlets to really build, and of course utilizing mainstream media.
I'm a little confused, to be honest, with when and how you use hashtags. I mean, I've done it, and I have no idea that it made any difference. But let me ask you, an application, a specific, I don't mean application as in like a computer app or an internet app, but an application of what you just said. If instead of trying to raise money, you were trying to raise awareness, and to make it maybe more discussable, let's say awareness of an event. Let's say the Shriners Club is having a circus or a rodeo or something like that, and we want to let everybody know that the circus and this rodeo is going on. How would I do? I want as many people, so they don't have to send any money. I just want to know that they know about it. How do I accomplish that?
Well, if you have even a small marketing budget, many social networks today, like Facebook and Twitter, allow geo-targeting. In fact, Twitter just launched zip code targeting for users, and on Facebook, you can really drill down by age, gender, location, interest, so you can hit people on where they're already going. And of course, you can do your own viral attempts on the network.
Oh, really?
But a lot of that is time intensive, so that might mean reaching out and researching where people in the area are, what their Twitter IDs are, and reaching out to them individually, using press releases, looking for local calendar events and newsrooms willing to post the event.
So would you?
I never underestimate the power of those third-party ambassadors, people who are willing to help out and post information on their network to have a direct reach to your target audience.
So it wouldn't be so far-fetched to actually pay for advertisements to promote a fundraiser. I mean, going back to the fundraising part of this, right?
Certainly. It depends if you have money to invest to be able to do that, and maybe the funds that you're raising will offset the cost that you spend to market it, but you need a national reach, or you just don't have the manpower to do grassroots campaigns and PR outreach, marketing.
Okay, Sarah, the phone line is now and then breaking up, and then other times it's crystal clear. Is there something we can do about that? It's a tech question.
Yeah.
on my end or your end?
Yes, your end.
On your end.
That I don't know.
Okay.
We'll check with the guys in the booth.
There's a guy in a booth. Okay, if I'm using like a tablet? Are tablets outselling? I heard this. The tablets were outselling the desktops now and the laptops.
I don't know the exact stats on that, but that is an accurate statement, and we're going to continue to see smaller, more mobile devices like tablets to sell more, but also evolve. So maybe in another 10, 20 years, we won't have traditional laptops. We'll have more laptop tablets.
Right.
Is it better for a game section to be on a separate tablet as opposed to the games being on the same tablet as photographs and what you do your daily work on?
So that comes down to data usage, and it's not going to necessarily depend on the device unless you have a device with not a lot of space. But gaming doesn't take up as much data as you might think. What takes up the most data typically are streaming videos, shows, things like Skype, FaceTime, that do a lot of simultaneous uploading.
Right. So Skype is a big byte user.
It can definitely be that.
Yeah.
But typically, like all of the things I just mentioned, you should be able to do on a typical 250 gigabyte data plan.
Okay. And when we get a data plan from like a provider, like around here we have Cox, and what else do we have?
Bright House.
Bright House, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
CenturyLink.
Do we do ourselves a disservice if we pay for more than we really need?
Certainly, you don't want more than you need, and you don't want less than you need. It's important to find a plan that works for you. And just to put this in perspective, I said the 250 gigabyte number. This is what you can do with that amount of data.
Okay.
You can surf 400 hours. You could watch 35 2-hour HD movies, 400 3-minute videos, 9,000 plus 4-minute songs. I do all of that, plus I have a husband who uses the internet, a son who watches a lot of videos, and mobile device and tablet devices on my home Wi-Fi, and I still don't exceed 250 gigabytes.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's amazing. So I have a question about renting movies. When you rent a movie online and then it goes away after, 3 days or whatever it is there any residue, for lack of a better word? Is there anything left in your computer that's taking up space?
Well, since you haven't downloaded it, I assume you mean a streaming video. You're just using the data up when you're actually watching the movie. So even if you have 3 days to watch it, when you're not actually watching it, it's not taking up data.
Oh, okay. So when you rent a movie, you don't really have it in your computer.
Correct. If you're streaming it. Now, if you download it, that's something completely different. But if you're streaming from a service like an on-demand from Cox Communications or something similar, you're only using the data up when you're watching. Okay.
Now what?
Your video.
Maybe you help us out a little bit with the cloud thing. If I think you have to pay to use the cloud, right? I'm not really sure about that. But if I do I have like this immense amount of memory that I can use, and I no longer have to be limited by my own computer?
Well, it depends what you want to do. If we're talking about movies specifically, your data plan through your cable company or internet service provider should complement that. You shouldn't need something additional to use a cloud. Professionally, I use a cloud for workflow and managing remote teams, working remotely, that sort of thing. So I'm using Dropbox, Evernote, things that live in the cloud, because then I can also multitask devices. There are times I'm using my laptop versus my iPad versus my iPhone, but I can access all of the same information on any of those devices.
Okay.
And I do have for those, but it's because I'm a heavy user and I really do need it. It's a business expense.
Is the BlackBerry going away?
So, I don't know. I was a BlackBerry user back in the day, and I never thought I'd be able to move away from the touch, the ability to touch and type out my information to a touch screen. But they're still around. They're still fighting.
Oh, that's good. Are they a Canadian company?
You know what? I don't know.
For some reason, I got that impression from the last story I read about them. Let me just reintroduce you, Sarah. Sarah Evans is on the phone, and we are talking about the Internet and data usage, et cetera, or data. I guess I was saying it wrong. The book that Sarah has written is called Reframe, Little Inspirations for a Larger Purpose. And a lot of this has to do actually with using this whole social media for the betterment of everybody, like trying to raise money or raise awareness of good causes. Am I accurately describing what the book is going to help us with?
Well, the book is really about inspirational messages to help you through transitional times of your life, mostly professional. And I really wrote it for new professionals, people coming out of college into the workforce that are just haven't been dated by anything and are still energetic, excited about what they're doing, but also appropriate for anyone in their life looking to make a career transition or just
Okay. So it's less about technology than I thought. I mean, you've obviously got expertise in technology, and we're kind of picking your brain on that a little bit, but it sounds like the book goes elsewhere.
It does. In fact, I had some other book opportunities specifically about tech, but I felt like the book that was in me at the time didn't really have to do about tech, but while it doesn't talk about it specifically, the book was written with technology in mind. Every page has an Instagram-worthy photo and 140 character or less soundbite that people can tweet and share and use as inspirational messages. So
really? So a book like the way you're describing it sounds like it would be like some books are like coffee table books. It's better to get the actual physical book. It sounds like yours is probably better to be an ebook.
You can do either. I enjoy physical hard copy books still, so
okay.
It's both.
Do you have those QR codes embedded in some of your pages in your book, so you can scan your phone and see something else?
The QR code adoption rate and consumer understanding and use of them just hasn't been great. Originally, that was my idea, to be quite honest, but I decided not to go that route and just allow people to take pictures with their phone of the word art images in each page.
Mm-hmm. And how do you inspire people to try to just live their life as best they can and not focus all their time and attention on those mechanical devices, but go out in the real world and actually talk to people face to face?
So I share a lot of my mistakes. Some of my best practices. I was talking to a coworker last night. My husband and I now have a no phone at the table rule. We try to do one day a week that is technology-free. So sharing some of those best practices and learning from one another, I think, is really a powerful way to find best practices. I also run a weekly email resource for parents called One Step Ahead, and it's really focused on digital literacy. So teaching them how their kids might be using technology, but also offering family tips and tools for how to still have a healthy family relationship in this day and age of technology.
And that's pretty important because I grew up in an era, at least in my house, we only had one television set. So we had family viewing, and then, we could pick the nights to view something else. But now it's like there's technology in every room, and people might become strangers.
Yeah, and so it's so interesting that you say that because we intentionally have a one television household for that very reason. However, we have 2 iPad devices, and I live in a communications market, so we have Contour and it's an app for our iPad. It allows us to watch live, that sort of thing. But we are very cautious with how we split up that viewing time. But it does help in the off chance. Well, not an off chance. My husband and I have very different television tastes. So when he's watching something on the only TV we have, I can go ahead and watch something on the tablet device. But even if I have to plug headphones in, we can sit in the same room and maybe for 30 minutes enjoy something that the other, enjoy our own, and be back together. All
right, the book is called Reframe: Little Inspirations for a Larger Purpose. I found it on Amazon, and I'm reading through the little. It's almost like fortune cookie messages on in the black boxes. Here's one I love. I came upon. Don't let the haters keep you from doing what you love. Your success drowns them out.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
I love that one. That's great.
And that's what I mean. This book, we were really on the wrong track at the beginning of this interview. The information was so much about your credentials as a techie person that this is more psychological. This is more of a
I was just leaving you.
Yeah, but this is more motivational. This is motivational.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't let fear hold you back. That's a good one. Little inspirations for a larger purpose. Okay, it's. I'm glad we have a long interview.
Yeah.
If we didn't, we would have got the totally wrong idea about this book. And you actually instruct people because Amazon gives us the opportunity in this book anyway to look into it a little bit. So I'm able to read the very beginning of it. So does this? Are these little nuggets of wisdom from your own life? Did you? Could you, like, if you went back to yourself, your younger self, and gave yourself this book, would you have avoided some mistakes?
Most likely, because they're all learned experiences. And in fact, I haven't perfected those. If you could see my laptop right now, I've got stickers made of some of my favorite quotes from that book, the ones that I most need to remind myself of or see on a daily basis. So they're always around.
And how do you guide children?
For technology?
Yeah, and make them realize that they need to be givers and not takers in our world.
Well, the most important thing, I'm the mom of a 2-year-old, and it's all about modeling the behavior. It's not just telling him what we want to see, but actually modeling the behavior. I don't have all the answers about that, but we're naturally givers, and so I think he'll be exposed to that. I don't know on a wider scale. I know lots of parents who make conscientious effort to teach their children about giving, just like they take time to teach their children about financial responsibility or importance of education.
Okay, good. I love the inspirational messages in the book. So let's give the listeners a way to find out about that. Now, I found it on Amazon, so it was pretty easy. I just typed it in. By the way, there's an actress or a singer or somebody with your same name.
Uh-oh.
There is a country singer.
Yeah. Sarah Evans is who you're going to look up. But this is what I put: Sarah Evans, Little Inspirations, and it brought me right to it brought me to a Google page, and then I clicked on the book. Reframe: Little Inspirations for a Larger Purpose. Why is in brackets? Why is the part in brackets?
It's just a play on technology. Many times when you're writing code, you have to put things in brackets. So I wanted something that.
See that I would have known that.
Which is a little different in that it reminds you that you're not just framing your life; you really have to reframe it. And I wanted to highlight that significance.
I got it. Okay.
Very clever.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on the air with us, Sarah. And in addition to Amazon, do you have a website of your own?
Yes. So Sarah's Faves, FAV.ES. That's where I write about all of my favorite things in digital lifestyle and social media. And of course, coming later this week, there will be a post all about daddy tips and tools and other interesting things on the right data.
So it's Sarah, FAV.ES.
Yep, Sarah's Faves.
Something new for another something new.
Is Sarah plural or singular?
Plural, thank you.
Sarah's Faves, okay.
Okay, and Sarah spells her name.
I like to make it as confusing as possible.
Okay.
And she has an H at the end of her name, Sarah. Sarah Evans, fun talking to you. Thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Thank you so much, Sarah. You really
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of